The Persian Empire, also known as the Safavid Empire, was founded in 1502 and ran until 1722. Majority of this land was conquered land, which was taken, lost, and retaken again between the Ottoman Empire and the Mughal Empire. One of the reasons that they constantly clash against one another was that in Persia they focus on the Shia aspect of the Islamic religion, in which the descendants of Muhammad had control over the religion, while both the Ottoman and Mughal Empire focus on the Sunni aspect of Islam. Despite this struggle, the Safavid Empire focused on being the big next trading post and cultural art hub during this time frame. One of their very important exports was their silk, which they made fine clothing, and the Ottoman would pay top silver for this.
The Persian Empire, now modern-day Iran, is said to have one of the longest histories in the art world. Throughout its long history, the Persian Empire's art was influenced by Sumerian, Greek, and especially Chinese art. The art originating from the Persian Empire takes on many different forms, including textiles, rugs, calligraphy, architecture, pottery, painting, metalworking, weaving, and sculpture. The Islamic style of art began to develop after the fall of the First Persian Empire, and Islam became the dominant religion in Persia. The development of this art style further influenced the type of artworks and sculptures that were created. Calligraphy in the Persian Empire dates back to the pre-Islamic era, when the Persian Empire held beautiful writings in high esteem due to Zoroastrian influence. Calligraphers applied different styles and patterns of writing to many different mediums, including architecture, pottery, and metalwork in addition to writing on paper. Persian calligraphy was written with pens made from reeds, which had differently cut nibs meant to be used for writing different styles of calligraphy. The best ink used in the Persian Empire was imported from China and would be put in a glass or ceramic inkwell after being prepared. Because the ink comes in the form of dross of small dried pieces, the pieces would be mixed with water and left to dissolve, then diluted to the proper consistency. The paper used in calligraphy should have a glossy coating so that the ink doesn't spread out or lose the cleanliness of the writing. Six types of Iranian calligraphy were created roughly 1,000 years ago: Takik, Rehan, Sols, Naskh, Toki, and Reka. The Naskh and Reka styles were combined in the 12th century to create a new style of calligraphy called Talik. In the 14th century, Naskh and Talik were combined to create the most attractive style of Persian calligraphy called Nastaliq.
Persian music. Classical Persian music is one of the most ancient art forms and is one of the earliest forms of musical tradition known today. During the Achaemenid period 550 to 320 BCE, not only was music played in courtly entertainment, but it was an important part in worshipping. First written evidence of Persian music seems to go back to the Sasanian period, 226 to 643 CE, the Mongol invasion. During this period, because of the Mongol invasion changing the socio-political environment of the region, Shiite theology was established and Sufism became deeply penetrated into Persian lyrical poetry. The Safavid period. Music in Persia had declined with the rise of the Safavid Empire during the 15th century. The court scorned musicians, but their art became a subject of authority from the Shiite clerics who rarely viewed it. The intensity of the Persian tradition was passed on to India, where the ruling people were the Turco-Mongols, where they were deeply influenced by the Persian court culture. Musical traditions were kept alive by Sufis and performers of taziyeh, Shiite passion plays in Iran. Much of the music has no meter, no beat, but has a rhythm related close to speech. Its rhythmic structure is related to that of Persian poetry. The classical music relies on both improvisation and composition. Some traditional instruments include the tar, tanbak, santur, sitar, daf, and kamanche. Here's a tar instrument, a tanbak instrument, a sitar instrument, a kamanche instrument, a daf instrument, and a santur instrument. Here's also a quick 16-second audio of what the ancient Persian music would have sounded like.
Persian art, fashion. Fashion in its own was an art form through the Safavid dynasty, which lasted from the 1501 through 1722, so 16th and 17th century. Fashion through the Safavid dynasty. Fashion was a highly influential. Technical masters from weavers used technical and different color combinations, especially the use of gold and silver, velvet and frugal imagery, such as the first garment, was used with silk and velvet, told stories. The cope was used by clergymen, and the bag, which was used by women. The influence of the weaver's art was used by many as the chasuble, which was used by clergymen. We also have literature that was weaved into textile and shirts or other garments, such as the velvet fragment, was designed from Nazi of Kahin, that told his story of Kashur and Serrier in the 16th century. It also used silk and cut velvet. Then we also have foreign influence, which used deep colors, rich colors such as flame, parrot, green, and salmon pink. Anthony Van Dyck made these oil paintings from the influence of the rich colors.